sugar, spice, and everything nice. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect little girl. But Professor Utonium accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction, Chemical X. Thus, the Powerpuff Girls were born! Using their ultra superpowers, Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup have dedicated their lives to fighting crime and the forces of evil!
Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel that consistently improves on their video quality. For today's video, I've decided to move my filming location so as to decrease the amount of echo, and hopefully it works and it's not all for nothing. So I've been wanting to make a video about this topic for not so long, seeing as I only started making videos about a month ago, but I've been thinking about this topic for long enough. And if you couldn't tell by the thumbnail and the title of this video, I'll be talking about live action remakes. It all started when I was scrolling through Facebook one afternoon and I saw this. They're gonna make a live action remake of the Powerpuff Girls. The Powerpuff Girls. The crime fighting toddlers with no fingers. Now don't get me wrong, live action remakes could actually be a huge box office success, like Aladdin, Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella. I could go on and on and on about Disney movie remakes, but it's not what we're here to talk about today. Today we're talking about the live action remakes to children's TV shows, the light to everyone mediocre's childhood lives, the cherry on top to every child's weekends. Remember when children's TV shows used to be good? Nah, me neither. Until they started ruining it with insufficient budget and started casting adults to play the roles of teenagers, or even worse, toddlers. I remember the internet went crazy over the fact that Dora the Explorer was getting a live action movie remake, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you make a live action remake starring a little girl and her monkey on their adventures? But credit where it's due, they actually tweaked the script of the movie so that it fit the movie standards better and actually casted a similarly aged actress to play the role of Dora, so I'll give it a pass. But back to the topic of CW's remake of the Powerpuff Girls. So this article by BuzzFeed News, the live action remake of the Powerpuff Girls will focus on Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup as adults navigating their lives after spending their childhoods as superheroes, which makes sense because there's no way that three adults are going to play the roles of three crime-fighting toddlers. And from what I can find, they've actually set a different direction to the show to make it sort of darker and grittier so that it appeals to the target audiences who were once kids but are now adults, or teens at least. So far it looks promising, but it's way too early to give it a verdict now, because we all know all too well how the producers of a TV show could ruin a huge franchise, as demonstrated by Now I'm not gonna go into it, but if you guys want to check out everything that's wrong with Fate the Winx saga, I'm gonna add several links in the description box so that you guys can check it out. Moving on. So I think we are way too familiar with how producers butcher a perfectly good live action remake, but just in case, I'm gonna list out some of the many reasons of how a live action remake gets ruined. Firstly, they do not stay loyal to the original series. And when I mean follow the original series, I don't mean follow the formulaic one story per episode trope, but more like staying loyal to the universe, you know? Like, one of the biggest mistakes I feel in Fate the Winx saga was that the show didn't exactly follow the theme of the original children's show. In Winx Club, the children's series, their world is set in this sort of dystopian but also magical world where you get the best of both worlds. You get all the magic and fairies and stuff like that, but you also get state-of-the-art technology and transportation and weapons and stuff like that. And that I feel was such a big part why the Winx Club got a lot of loyal fans, because it was new, it was unheard of. Most shows either stick to the dystopian world or a fantasy sort of land where you don't really see this unique and original universe where it's the combination of both. But when Fate, the Winx saga was released, it was set in a very gothy and cult-ish looking place where I could easily think that it's the set of another Netflix show, The Order, and that's just not pleasing to me or the viewers. So when I heard that CW is going to make a remake of the Powerpuff Girls, like I would imagine since they have powers and they're trying to cater towards the older audiences, it's going to be more like Supergirl or WandaVision and less like the original Powerpuff Girls, something like that. As long as they don't try to make it too independent from the original show to the extent that viewers feel like they can't relate to the original show, it has some potential, I think. Like the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina did a good job, I think, because the original show, even though it was a kids show, was about witchcraft and spells and stuff like that. So when you make a live action remake, you can tell that the producers try to steer this new and improved Sabrina towards a darker and more ominous tone, which fits the theme, you know, it's witchcraft and stuff like that. Moving on to the next reason, casting. Oh my god, casting. I think this has got to be the most obvious reason so far. Like, TV series aside, even in Hollywood, we have seen so many cases of whitewashing, and the actresses they've chosen to be part of this whitewashing phenomenon. So I'm not going to get into it, but I guess on the other hand, they have been more, embracing on issues such as body images and of course on accepting the LGBTQ plus community. So that's a huge win as well. But then again, it doesn't really outweigh the whole whitewashing thing. So let's just say there are still strides to be made in terms of casting. And the last reason, and probably the reason that I resonate the most with, is they don't need a remake. Literally nobody asked for a live action remake of the children's show we all watched growing up because it was just part of our childhood. And just part of our childhood, we've left them behind, and for the most part we don't look back, and we can't expect ourselves or any other people to watch them because we're well into our adulthood. So really, the shows to us are just a nostalgic presence, but the producers know this well, so they intend to take that nostalgia, put it in a blender, and throw it into the garbage. They use nostalgia like the huge manipulative card it is to amp up our expectations and to get us all excited so that the viewership ratings would go up. And if they put in a lot of effort into actually trying to make the series good, they might get it, but otherwise it just sucks and it's horrible and it's bad and it ruins everything for everyone. So far we've had the notorious Disney movie remakes and also this and this. Ratings aside, again, nobody asked for them. Imagine if they decided to announce a live action remake of, I don't know, Totally Spies, or even worse, Phineas and Ferb. So what can be remade, you guys ask? Well, not a remake, but adapted? Hell yeah, books. There are tons of books with huge fan bases, like Shadowhunters, the show that was adapted from Cassandra Clare's Mortal Instrument books. Yeah, the Mortal Instruments series was hugely successful among teens and young adults. And me. Granted, the movie was a huge flop, And trust me, I watched it and it was horrible. The series just proved that if you know your target audiences well and make a tad bit of changes to the script so that it fits the series, it could equally be as successful. Other books that have been adapted into a TV series include Pretty Little Liars, Gossip Girl, Orange is the New Black, the notorious Game of Thrones, and the biggest breakout star recently, Bridgerton. Hello? And more notably, and by more notably, I mean adaptations which I think have done such a spectacular job on are Sherlock, a series of unfortunate events, and The Queen's Gambit. I love those shows so much with all my heart and soul, and if anyone says otherwise, I will find you and end you. It's shows like those that made me wish that my favorite books got a TV adaptation as well. Like when I was a teenager, I used to wish so hard for a TV adaptation of Percy Jackson. Hey guys, I'm editing here. I was scrolling through Facebook when I saw this news about the casting of a new Percy Jackson Disney Plus series, so I went online to check it out, and turns out it's real. And here's a Twitter sent by the author for a casting call, so I guess that's one of my teenage dream come true. Teenage dream. Or The Tiger's Curse, or this other series called Reawakened, written by the same author, Colleen Hope. And if you haven't checked out those two series, check them out, they are amazing. And that's about it, because apparently my reading library is stuck at 15 years old, which means I stopped reading after middle school. And I haven't ventured much into reading other books except for Stephen King's, but even so, I've bought the book It for about 3 years and I'm still barely halfway through it. Is it Stephen King or Stephen King? I'm so confused because it's like Stephen Hawking, and then there's Stephen King and Stephen King. I think it's Stephen King. Stephen King. Alright, so this video might be shorter than expected. I thought I wrote a lot, but apparently I finished filming it in like 40 minutes-ish, so something's a bit fishy. Sorry if it's a little bit ranty. It's just that this topic has been cooped up within me for so long, and once there's an outlet for me to rant, there ain't no stopping me. It's like a dam inside of me broke and everything just comes spilling out. So thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!